Hi guys, and welcome back to another painting tutorial. So today I'm going to show you how I paint jade armor. So over a chaos black undercoat, I'm just going to apply some dark jade, and I'm using my airbrush for this. Now if you don't use an airbrush, just apply a couple of thin coats of this. And after having given that a little bit of time to dry, I'm now going to do a zenithal highlight of jade by Pro Acryl. Now again, if you aren't using an airbrush, you could very well actually, I'd recommend doing a mix of dark jade and jade as a base coat, and then moving on to the shading steps coming up shortly. So as you can see, I've already filled out the other details with black, and now to begin shading all of the jade armor, I decided to do STEGADON scale green and ABADDON black, looking at an even mix of this, and add a fair amount of water, as we want this to essentially be running as a shade. And as you can see as well, as per usual in my tutorials, I'm using my Raphael 8404 size 30 brush for this. And it is one of my newer ones, as I wanted to be as careful as I could with this shade. As you can see, of course, the recesses of Space Marine armor is typically really small, so just trying to maximize control there. And also just adding some very faint scratches on the armor as well, and I'll be limiting how much I'm actually doing of that. And now to create some shadows on the armor, I decided to use STEGADON scale green on its own. And as you can see, it is fairly thinned down as well. And for the most part, really just trying to focus this particular shade in the deepest recesses, in the shadows of where the light would be hitting on, or where the light wouldn't be hitting on the power armor. But again, it's, as you can see, it's really, really subtle. It is heavily watered down. And still just using the same brush for this as well. And depending on how much you want to darken the recesses, you can layer this up quite a few times. So next up, just going back to Jade by Pro Acryl, I'm now going to do some edge highlighting. So really just try and get this as clean as you possibly can. So just, yeah, really take your time with it. Now initially I was going to just skip this step and go to straight to bright jade. However, considering all the shading that we've just done with the previous two shades, I decided that the jade would actually work quite well as the initial edge highlight. And as always with Space Marines, they really are one of the best range of miniatures to perfect edge highlighting, as there are a lot of prominent features on their power armor that require pretty sharp highlights. Of course, not in every case, but again, it's just a really good range of miniatures to practice those edge highlighting. Or those edge highlights, I should say. But anyway, now moving on to bright jade. And for the most part, just doing some really subtle dot point highlights across all of the armor. And the reason I didn't want to overdo the brow jade is I was actually really happy with how the armour looked overall, even just with that first highlight that we did with the jade. So really, for the most part, just to help all of the details pop that much more. And with that, the Blade Guard Veteran is complete. So I have a few more tutorials coming for this particular unit of miniatures, and I really hope you found this tutorial useful today. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe today if you haven't already, and if you would like to support the channel, the links are in the description below. If you're in Australia, the USA or the UK and are intending on buying any of your hobby needs at discounted prices, it won't cost you anything extra, but it does support the channel. So as always guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you again in the next one.